Imagine being trapped 100 feet at the bottom of the ocean. It's pitch black. The water around you is freezing. You're wearing nothing but a pair of boxers, and with every breath you take, you are slowly poisoning yourself with your own air. No light, no food, no help coming. Most people would survive maybe a few hours before panic or hypothermia takes over. But Harrison O'Keene didn't survive for hours. He survived for 3 whole days. This is the horrifying, miraculous true story of the man who cheated death at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. It was May 26, 2013, around 4:30 in the morning. Off the coast of Nigeria, a 100-foot tugboat named the Jascon 4 was navigating through treacherous, rough seas. On board was 29-year-old Harrison O'Keene, working as the ship's cook. While most of the 12-man crew was locked in their cabins for safety, a standard security measure against local pirates, Harrison was up early, getting ready for the day in his shorts. Then, without warning, disaster struck. A massive, rogue wave slammed into the vessel. The ship lurched violently. Metal groaned. Water came crashing through the hallways with terrifying force. The boat flipped upside down and began plunging rapidly into the icy depths of the ocean. Inside the sinking ship, it was absolute chaos. Harrison was thrown around as the room spun upside down. Water was filling every corner of the ship at a terrifying speed. He managed to force open a door and stumbled into a small toilet area attached to the officer's cabin. He held his breath as the water rose higher and higher. And then the ship hit the ocean floor, 100 feet below the surface. When the violent shaking finally stopped, Harrison opened his eyes. It was total, suffocating darkness. But amazingly, he realized he was still breathing. Because the boat had flipped upside down, air had become trapped in a small 4-foot pocket in the corner of the ceiling. It was an air pocket, and it was the only reason Harrison was alive. But he soon realized his nightmare was just beginning. As the hours began to stretch, the mental and physical torture set in. First was the cold. At 100 feet underwater, the temperature drops drastically. Dressed in only his shorts, Harrison was shivering uncontrollably. To survive hypothermia, he managed to find 2 mattresses floating in the water and stack them up to lift his upper body out of the freezing sea. Then came the darkness. It was so thick, Harrison couldn't even see his own hand inches from his face. And then, there were the sounds. In the pitch-black silence, Harrison could hear large sea creatures swimming through the flooded corridors outside his small room. He could hear them feeding on the remains of the ship, and the horrifying sound of metal creaking under immense pressure. His only nourishment over 60 agonizing hours? A single bottle of Coca-Cola he managed to snatch from the floating debris. Worse yet, his time was running out. Every breath he took was consuming oxygen and filling the tiny air pocket with deadly carbon dioxide. He was slowly suffocating. 60 hours had passed. Nearly 2.5 days. Harrison was weak, hallucinating and preparing himself for the end. He began praying, asking for a peaceful death. Meanwhile, on the surface, a team of South African specialized divers had arrived, but they weren't expecting to find anyone alive. Their mission was simply body recovery. Diver Nico van Heerden descended into the pitch-black wreckage with a camera attached to his helmet. As the diver swam through the flooded hallway, his flashlight beam cut through the murky water. Inside the air pocket, Harrison saw a flicker of light. The diver felt a hand grab his arm. Thinking it was a corpse floating in the current, he flinched until the hand squeezed back. Through the surface radio comms, the support team heard the stunned diver yell, "He's alive! He's alive! There's a guy alive in here!" Rescuing Harrison wasn't simple. Bringing him straight to the surface would have instantly killed him due to the massive buildup of nitrogen in his blood, a condition known as the bends. The divers carefully fitted him with a diving helmet, guided him out of the sunken ship, and placed him directly into a pressure chamber, where he had to decompress for 2 full days before his body safely readjusted. Out of 12 men on board, Harrison was the sole survivor. His story shocked the scientific and medical world. Doctors couldn't believe an air pocket that small sustained him for 60 hours. And what did Harrison do after surviving the ultimate underwater nightmare? He conquered his fear. Today, Harrison O'Keene is a fully certified commercial diver, returning to the very depths that almost took his life, now helping others. Against all odds, the human spirit proved that even 100 feet under the ocean, hope never sinks. If you were trapped in that air pocket, do you think you could have held on for 60 hours? Let me know in the comments below. If you loved this incredible survival story, hit that like button, subscribe for more unbelievable true stories, and tap the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Thanks for watching, and stay curious.